Okay, hello Bio2, Mr. B, and we are continuing on with plants today. We've discussed our first group, the bryophytes, which are plants that lack vascular tissue, and now we are moving on to our next group of plants, our first one that is going to have vascular tissue, but these ones are going to be known as the seedless vascular plants. So looking at the evolution of the vascular tissue, about 420 million years ago, moss-like plants on land were joined by taller plants. Evidence shows that these plants had vascular tissue, which is specialized to conduct water and nutrients throughout the plant. We went over this several times, so you should know by now. Vascular tissue, specialized tissue to conduct water and nutrients throughout the plant. And the first vascular plants contain tracheids, which are cells specialized to conduct water. Tracheids make up xylem, or a transport subsystem that carries water from the roots to every part of a plant. So two big words here. Tracheids is one. These are the cells that are specialized to conduct water, and a group of tracheids are going to make up the xylem, and this is going to carry the water. So xylem carries water from one area, from the roots to every other part of the plant. So those are two big terms that we're going to need to know here. So tracheids and xylem. Tracheids are hollow with thick cell walls that resist pressure, and they connect end to end to allow water to move efficiently. So it's almost like they form a little system of tubes inside of the plant. They're going to connect end to end so the water can flow easily to every part of the plant, and they're going to be able to resist pressure, because if we have a bunch of water running through them, we don't want them to burst open. So they're just like really solid tubes is what they are, like a nice plumbing system that moves water everywhere throughout the plant. And vascular plants also have a second transport subsystem composed of vascular tissue called phloem. It's not, the PH, as you know, makes an F sound, so phloem is how you say that. And it transports solutions of nutrients and carbohydrates produced by photosynthesis. So we have the xylem, which is going to carry the water, and phloem, which is going to carry our nutrients and carbohydrates produced by photosynthesis. So they both are part of our vascular system. So xylem and phloem make up our vascular tissue. And we're going to look at now, since we know what vascular tissue is, we're going to look at how it's important to ferns and their relatives. Both xylem and phloem can move fluids through the plant body, even against the force of gravity. So as you guys know, it is natural for things to want to fall, and xylem and phloem, they are specialized to kind of fight that natural force of gravity. They can rise up, they can start at the roots, and they can move things up into the leaves, into the stems, and to the other parts of the plant that are going to need the water and that are going to need the nutrients. And together, xylem and phloem move nutrients, water, nutrients, and other materials throughout the plant. So I just stated that. And then in many plants, xylem and lignin, this is a new one here, lignin, and this is just something that's going to make a rigid cell wall, and that enables the plants to grow upright and tall. So xylem combined with lignin, which again is just a substance that makes cell walls rigid, enable them to grow upright and tall. Again, another advantage that the ferns have over the mosses. The mosses were restricted to lower parts of the ground, whereas the ferns can grow upward now. And then we're going to look at what are the characteristics of the three phyla, or three phyla, which is plural for phylum, of the seedless vascular plants. So we have three. We have club mosses, we have horsetails, and then we have our most common one, which are going to be known as ferns. The most numerous phylum is the ferns, and ferns and their relatives have true roots, leaves, and stems. We said that the mosses had stem-like structures, leaf-like structures. They had rhizoids. We could not say that they actually had roots, leaves, and stems because they did not have vascular tissue. And finally now we have a plant, the ferns, with vascular tissue, so we can finally say that they have roots, leaves, and stems. And a quick definition of each one of these: roots are the underground organs that absorb waters and minerals. You guys all have seen those before. If you plant any weed out of the ground, it's going to be the part that you see come up. There's several different types. We'll get into those more in depth later. Leaves are photosynthetic organs, carry out photosynthesis. They contain one or more bundles of vascular tissue. Tissue is gathered into veins made of xylem and phloem. And stems are the supporting structures that connect roots and leaves, carrying water and nutrients between them. So those are our three main structures that are going to make up our vascular plants, and that is it. We're going to look at each one of those three phyla, the club mosses, horses, ferns, more in detail next time, so let me know if you have any questions.